Okay, hello and welcome today to my demonstration on Beam. So Beam is our enterprise asset management system. It is also a web-based system, and you can log into the system by using any web browser after deploying it onto your cloud or on-premise server. In addition, Beam is a permission-based system, so not everyone can see everything in the system, and you can connect to what you're supposed to based on your position, profession, department, and group. So after logging into the system, you can also find the dashboard on your home page, and it visualizes the data of the system into the dashboard. So for example, it helps you keep track and monitor the performance and KPIs of your company. And these are interactive widgets, so you can design them the way that you prefer to, and they're very interactive. And just to show you, for example, we have a list of companies right here. And if I were to choose a different company, as you can see, all the other widgets change depending upon the company that you choose. And you can also export this to an Excel or a PDF file. And on your top left here is the main menu of Beam. So Beam is a modular structure, and we have 4 main modules in Beam, which include the asset module, as well as maintenance module, materials, and personnel. So we'll first start off with the asset management module, where we can control some of our assets. So for example, here we have a map. So you can find the real-time location of your moving asset on this map after integration with the GPS device that is equipped on your asset for maintenance purposes. So you can certainly use this map for some of your moving assets, for example, maybe trucks. And also in this module, we have a graphical asset tree. So you can upload a blueprint or floor plan of your facility to the system. In addition, you can pinpoint the location of your fixed asset, and you can have an overview of your asset on this graphical asset tree. So when it is in the green color, it means that it is in good condition. And once there is any maintenance that is scheduled for it, it will automatically turn red. So to give you an example, if you were to hover over the green dots here, we're able to see the specific asset as well as the status of the asset and the group, the type of the asset, as well as the operation and cost center. And that would be it for the graphical asset tree. And next we have our assets here. So as you can see here, we have a list of all of our assets, and each asset has a specific code that is associated with it. And up here we have our asset tree. So the asset tree shows the structure of your company pretty much on a hierarchy form. And after expanding it, you can find the assets that you have allocated to different locations or departments. And you can also find the asset line in the asset tree. And what does this mean? It means you can combine 2 assets for performing a task, and any maintenance that you schedule for the parent asset will automatically apply to the dependent asset. So let's go back to our assets. So here is where you can manage information for all of your assets. For example, here we have the department description, as well as serial number, the type, as well as the last maintenance date, as well as the asset type description. So let's say we want to view one of the assets. So as you can see here, we have all the information that we have in these stars is required information. So for example, we have the asset code, as well as the description, the status, the type, and the group, as well as department, cost center, and operation. And on our left here, we have some other information. For example, we have our maintenance team, as well as our asset materials right here. And we also have legitimate proceedings. So here we have some comprehensive insurance information as well as periodic vehicle inspection information. So for example, if you need to see the last inspection date for your asset, you can do that right here. And you can also see the next scheduled inspection date for your asset. And we also have a picture of our asset right here. And we can also attach any other documents that we need to. So for example, we have a driver handbook, for example, in this for the specific asset. And lastly, we also have a item for depreciation. So here's where we can see that. And you can certainly choose the account type right here. And another thing that I want to show is the reporting tool in this specific module. Actually, there's a reporting tool available for every module in Beam, and you can run over 10,000 ready-made reports in the system. And for example, let's say we want to view a asset status report. So before generating the report, you can put the conditions or criteria on it. And instead of generating the report every single time you need it, you can even schedule the report to be sent to you automatically. Well, you must be wondering, well, how can I do that? Well, the answer is right down here. If you go to schedule, you can schedule the date. So here's where you can schedule it, and you can do it depending upon if you want a daily, weekly, or monthly. And this is where we would do that, and you would hit save, and that report will be sent to you once we add our email address here. And let's go back to our status report. So here is where we can choose the asset that we want to view. So for example, let's say we want to view this one, and we would do prepare. Okay. So here is our asset status report. So for example, here we can see the status of this asset. So it is active, and along with some other information. And here is our report. And you can also export it to a PDF or any other type of format that you want. And this is pretty much it for the asset module. As you can see, we have other reports that are available to us. For example, an asset barcode list, as well as vehicle field purchases. And also in this module, we have a vehicle management system right here where we can manage things such as vehicle service forms, as well as vehicle fuel purchases and some other related information to your vehicle. And next we can go to our maintenance module. So in case of any unplanned breakdowns, the operator of the asset can also file a work request, and you can pick the asset from the asset list for the work request. Or you can even scan the barcode for filing, and you can attach the image that you take as a reference to the maintenance team. So here is where we have all of our work requests. And let's say we want to add a work request. So we can do that. The quickest way to do that is by going up here to fast request. So for example, we can put the maintenance priority for this specific work request. So let's say if you really need some work done, then you can do emergency, or if it can wait, we can do low priority or normal. So let's keep it at normal. And we can also choose the asset here. So let's do this one right here. It's a vehicle, and we can also choose the work type. So for example, let's say if it's a mechanical issue, and we can also choose the maintenance/failure code. So mechanical failure, and we can even put like a description in. And this is a mandatory field, so you need to put some kind of description. So let's say generator needs mechanical fix. And once we are done, we can hit save. So here is our work request. So all the work requests here will be pulled to the work order pool, which is right here. And you can schedule, here's where you can schedule the actual start and end date, as well as the materials required, the maintenance team, the work step, and cost. So here is our work orders. So we have ours right here. So let's go ahead and view this one. All right, so we have some information for our specific work order. For example, we have the work order kind. So it's a failure maintenance, as well as the asset, the department code, the maintenance priority, and all the information that we put in for the work request. And up here, we also have the failure occurrence date, as well as the informed date, the plan, as well as the plan start and end date. And also up here, we have the work order status for us. And on your left here, you have some other information as well. So for example, we have the used materials that are going to be needed, as well as the work steps involved right here. And we can also attach any other documents that we need to. And last, we have our cost. So the labor cost, as well as the material cost involved, and the service cost. And here is information for our work order. And if we go back here, we also have a preventive maintenance column right here. So for example, you can schedule the preventive maintenance for your specific asset after a certain time frame or at a certain value captured from your IoT devices on your assets. So for example, we have some of these preventive maintenance right here. So if we need to add one, we can do that right here. So in this case, we would have to put in the asset, the maintenance/failure code, as well as the period unit, so day, week, or month. And on your left here, we also have the work order information, as well as materials, the maintenance plan, and we can also attach documents here. So that is pretty much the maintenance module here. And of course, we have our reports right here. And next we can go on to our materials module. So you can find all your materials, the list of all your materials right here. And we can see there's also a specific code that is associated to a specific material, and along with some other description. So let's view this one right here. All right, so for example, here we have the material code, as well as the material description. So in this case, it is a steel wire rope. And we can also put in the measurement units. So in this case, it is in pieces. And on our left here, we have our warehouse parameters. So here, we can find the minimum material amount, as well as the maximum material amount, as well as some safety stock levels. And also here on the left, we have our vendors. And we can always attach documents. So we have a handbook right here. And we also have a picture of our material. And here, the material transactions, you can record the activity of your spare parts among warehouses. And all the transactions will be recorded with a unique voucher number, as well as a transaction type, and the warehouse, the quantity, the price, and so on. So also in this module, I'd want to show one of the reports. So for example, we have a warehouse transactions report right here. So we can choose the date that we want to view, and we would just do prepare. And here is our warehouse transactions report. So as you can see here, we have two different warehouses and we're able to see the transactions that occurred at the specific warehouses. So we have some information such as the voucher number, as well as the voucher date, the material transaction type, as well as the material description, and the warehouse code with the description, and some other information as well. So here is our report, and we can always export it to a different file format depending upon what you want. And lastly here, we also have some other reports that we can view in this module. And next we have our personnel module. So here is where we have all of our resources, and you can manage information for your employees, for example, in this specific module. So let's go ahead and view this one. So for example, we have the resource code, as well as the resource description, as well as the resource position, and along with some other information regarding the specific resource. And also we have a resource occupation calendar. So here you can find the schedule of your employees in a calendar view, and you can compare the schedule of different employees on the same page, and it allows you to avoid the conflicts while you're assigning the task to the maintenance team. So for example, here we can choose the start and end date for our resource, as well as the work type here. And we also can choose the resources that we want to view. And this pretty much concludes my demonstration today on Beam on a very high level, and thank you for watching.